I don't know too many people that he plays that for. That's a big compliment that he came out to. She's a lady.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and you are a lady. And that movie. Do you ever like? It was one of the greatest movie characters ever. Do you ever look at it and catch it on TV and just get scared of yourself?
No, it's really funny. That scene was the most difficult scene for me to shoot.
Really? Why?
I couldn't get it. We shut down, the set. We asked people to leave. We rehearsed it. We cut a few lines. I think it was because I felt so vulnerable and so exposed in that teddy. I wasn't used to it. It was very, very vulnerable, and it was just very difficult. And I think also I was feeling what the character was feeling.
Well, then you became her because, which is scary.
I know, I don't get a lot of dates.
Yeah. Yeah, that really is that I had forgotten how scary it was until I just saw it again today. So
I loved her, though. I really did. I did a lot of research about that character and a lot of secrets about her that people don't know.
Oh, really? Mm. Don't tell us. Now, so there's a DVD coming out, and were there two endings originally shot
Oh, yes.
for this?
Well, originally, when I read the script, it was a seamless black comedy. I mean, not comedy. No, that's Stepford Wives.
Yeah, yeah. I was looking for the humor just now when you said that.
No, it's really kind of a film noir in that I killed myself, and his fingerprints were on the knife, and he went to jail.
Oh, that was one of the endings.
He should have been in jail, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But it was so upsetting to the audiences, and they tested it, and it was kind of a landmark thing for Hollywood, because the testing turned the movie around 180 degrees, and they came back to me 6 months later and said, we're going to change the ending. And I said, you're joking. They wanted to make her into a psychopath, and they did, and they killed me off. They gave the audience my blood, and it made them feel that there was hope for the family, and,
Wow. Well, then, the good way to look at that is you're a good actress. That they believed you. But I did it, the same thing. I did a movie called Goodbye Lover, and we shot one ending where I was killed, and 6 months later they came back to me and they said, the audience doesn't want you to die. We have to reshoot it where you don't die at the end. So it was the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
We reshot that final ending. We were kicked out of the studio that we had in New York, and we went to the Unitarian Church in Bedford, New York, and the bathtub scene where I'm blown away with liver bits, coming out of the wall, was in the basement of a Unitarian church. I kept saying, do they know what we're doing down here?
Right. They do now. Now, was there a talk of a sequel of that, or no?
Well, actually, my nanny came up with a great idea, and I took it all the way to Sherry Lansing. And they don't want to tamper with it. Because how would you bring her back? She'd have to have a twin, right?
Yes, that's exactly how.
Yeah.
It happens every day.
They did. They didn't want to deal with a twin.
Yeah. Well, and well, you really have been in some of my favorite movies, but that upset me because you're not anything the rabbit scene, the bunny rabbit scene is just horrible to even think about, and I don't even want to mention it. But you're a huge animal lover like I am.
Huge.
And you did something that I envy. You went to Africa on a safari.
Yes, a riding safari.
A riding.
With my daughter, who was 12 at the time.
Yeah, but this is not a riding in a car, which is what you should be doing, riding in a car. You were riding on horses.
On horseback, yeah.
Okay. What do animals eat in Africa?
They eat other animals and sometimes humans.
Right, so you're riding on an animal that's running, which is what they go after.
Well, we were told when we went, you have to be a good enough rider to stay on. Because you don't want to be scared by something and fall off.
Right.
And it actually happened to us. It was my birthday, I'll never forget it. We were in the savannah, rolling beautiful, like the Garden of Eden, and we had just watched a herd of elephants and mothers and babies, and we all were in a line because our leader never wanted like the trail, all leading nose to tail, so we were all kind of spread out. And I heard this shouting, and we were moving camp, which means we had 7 hours of very kind of rigorous riding, and I thought, uh-oh, somebody's fallen off or something terrible's happened. And I looked back, and we were all kind of gathered, and I turned my horse around, and there was a lioness that far away. Literally, what, 20 feet away. And she was like this. And she wasn't like, I'm scared, I'm going to get out of here. It was like, who am I going to attack now? And I thought, this is elemental. Somebody could get seriously hurt.
Yes.
And our leader didn't have any kind of gun, so he had this big riding whip, and he started cracking the whip and and yelling. And the lioness kind of decided that maybe it wasn't a good time, and she kind of slunk away. But I found out later that she had been chasing my daughter's horse. My daughter was crying, and she doesn't cry easily, and she said it was chasing her horse. So, oh, excuse me. Luckily, I didn't see that.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Yeah.
That's the
It
scariest.
was exciting. It was amazing. It was actually great. Because then I said to Annie, but just think what you've just experienced.
Yeah, and that's what you said to your daughter?
Yeah.
Just think how exciting that was, honey. Don't cry. Wow, well, I envy that experience, but we have to take a break. We'll be back after this. Back with Glenn Close. Now, did you have a toothache, or what was going on right there? It's so good, and you're so amazing and everything, but it's a love story. You can't tell that from looking at that clip, but it is a love story,
well,
right?
I think ultimately it is, in that it's two people, two towering figures in the 12th century who would find nobody like each other. I mean, they were made for each other. They were an incredible match, and yet because they were so, you know, powerful and so ambitious, and so it was, you know, a lot of water went under the bridge in that marriage.
Uh-huh.
And of course, it was his fault.
Yeah. He had all those other affairs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then so did you, maybe.
Well, I don't think I had as many as he did.
Uh-huh.
No, he fell in love with Rosamund, and it's historically correct. I did a lot of reading, and I'm still reading about that time in history because I'm so fascinated by it. But when he fell in love with Rosamund, it changed the landscape of their marriage. But it's a phenomenal story, phenomenal, and it's so beautifully written. It's extremely entertaining. You're laughing one minute, and
Yeah, it's very clever, very witty.
yeah, very.
Yeah. It's
Beautiful sons. I had nice boys.
Yes, very nice boys.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize this. I did a little research myself on you, and one of my favorite movies is World According to Garp, and I didn't know that was your first film.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That was your first film. You were so
It
good.
was.
And Big Chill, you were in, which is you're in.
It was my second film.
Oh, really? Wow. And now. And so, and now what's next? What are you working on? You said Stepford Wives.
Stepford Wives is coming out this summer, and a wonderful company worked on it pretty much all of last year. And I haven't seen it. I just hope it's as entertaining as I...
And who's in it?
Nicole Kidman and Matthew Broderick are one couple. Chris Walken and I are another couple. Faith Hill and Bette Midler and John Lovitz are a couple.
Wow.
And
wait, that was three people just now.
Roger Bart, who is so brilliant, in the producers, and David Marshall Grant are the gay couple who come to Stepford.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's going to be great. When's that coming out?
June 11th.
Good. You look like you just picked that date. June 11th.
It's kind of back.
Yeah.
I think it's June 11th, yeah.
All right. Well, The Lion and Winter premieres Sunday, May 23rd at 7:30 on Showtime. Look for Glenn and the Stepford Wives in theaters. It is June 11th. You're absolutely right. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back right after that.